Emotional neglect is often not recognized and therefore has profound impact on our lives and our relationships. So in this video, I'm sharing with you the impact of emotional neglect. And if you want to know what emotional neglect is, there's another video about that. Go check that out. So hi Lovebug, I'm Vivi. Welcome to Adventure World. My channel is all about guiding you to an exceptional relationship with yourself, with your partner, and just live a better quality of life due to emotional intelligence. So if this is something that you're really into, something that you want to improve in your life, live a better, happier, more beautiful life, then consider subscribing because there's a whole bunch of videos helping you with a whole bunch of emotional stuff. So what are the impacts of emotional neglect? A lot of time it starts with I'm not good enough, because I'm not important, because people don't care about me and about my emotional needs. We often do not create this consciously, but rather subconsciously, because again and again we feel that whenever we're having an emotional need, whenever we would need someone being there for us, comforting us, making us feel at ease with our emotions, there was nobody doing this. So we subconsciously start to feel, oh, we're just not as important. We should just not feel these emotions. And therefore we start having a lower self-esteem, lower self-confidence, and therefore we start feeling more alone because there's no one being there for us, and it's really hard to ask for help. This often transfers into guilt, shame, very low self-confidence and self-esteem, as I said before, feeling lonely and feeling that there's something wrong with us, being deeply flawed, feeling we're not good enough, and we're trying to please people just to make up for our low self-confidence or low self-esteem, which is never a good idea. We therefore start having trust issues and start judging ourselves and others a lot. We therefore start to have trust issues. Trusting ourselves and trusting others becomes really difficult, as well as we start to judge others and ourselves a lot because, well, we're never good enough. Emotional neglect also leads to constant feelings of worries, fear, anxiety, a lot of negative feelings that just being kept inside because it's so hard to ask for help or support, that these feelings just get buried down in our being and create a not very great personality. And if you haven't watched the video about suppressed emotions, please go watch it, because suppressed emotions and not dealing with our emotions has a really big impact on our lives and on our quality of life. Emotional neglect also leads to fear of failure and fear of rejection. People that are being emotionally neglected are often seen by others as distant, arrogant, or just weird people. And all this leads to a feeling of unhappiness, loneliness, and emptiness, which obviously is not the best place to be if you really and fully want to enjoy your life. But all these things do not only have an impact on our mental health, but also on our physical health, and can lead to diabetes, heart disease, and really weaken our immune system due to a lot of stress. And avoiding our emotions, shutting off our feelings, will in the long term also affect our memory. And imagine living a life that you can barely remember, that you barely enjoyed. Do you think that is worth it? That is why I feel working on emotional neglect and overcoming these feelings is really, really important. People that are being emotionally neglected constantly feel that there's something wrong with them. When they're criticized, they cannot see the good thing in the criticism or trying to use it as their advantage, learn from it and rise above it, but either are really pushed down by it, hold back, and really feel terrible about criticism. The problem is that most people try to cope with emotional neglect by suppressing their emotions, holding back their feelings, which, as we said, has a very bad negative impact and can also lead to a lot of undiagnosed learning disabilities. Especially in the US, we have so many learning disabilities, or ADD, not being able to read and write and learn fast enough as everyone else, which is also influenced through our emotions. And the worst thing, people who are being emotionally neglected do not really know who they are, what to expect from themselves, and what others expect from them. And the worst problem is, if we do not heal this now, when you have kids, you transfer the emotional neglect to your children. And not because you want to harm your kids, but just because we are not emotionally aware that we are actually neglecting other person's feelings. Because if we're not even aware of our feelings, we cannot deal with our own feelings, how can we possibly take care of someone else's feelings and give them everything they need to deal with these feelings and comforting them and making them feel better about themselves? It is impossible. So I hope you've seen that there is a big impact of emotional neglect in childhood, in relationships, in our life. And if you want to learn more about all these things, subscribe to the channel. I have a free training on communication. It's linked in the description below. Communication is one of the things that can profoundly change our life, because a lot of things in life are influenced by our communications, how we talk about ourselves, how we connect to others, the relationships we build with our partner and with others. Everything is influenced by the way we communicate, and with our communication we can either create an incredible, beautiful relationship, or we can create something terrible. So it is up to us to learn how to communicate better, more emotionally intelligently and more effectively, or just leave it. So if you like this video, share it with your friends and family so they know the impact of emotional neglect as well. We can all start to become more aware of emotional neglect. And subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about this. Give it a like if you did, and I see you in the next video.